Thank you for today. Thank you for your continued blessings and grace. Lord, help me to trust you more. Help me to trust your plan for my life, Lord. Help me to stop worrying about what may or may not happen with the future, because I know it's in your hands.
Hello there! Let's make learning fun and cool. I am Sir Je and I will be your teacher for today. Get ready for more discoveries and adventures. This is Module 1 of Quarter 1 lesson in Science for Grade 7. In this module, the most essential learning competency is describe the components of scientific investigation. Have you ever had a question about the world like, why plants need to grow? Or why sugar dissolves faster in hot water? At the end of this video lesson, you are expected to first, describe the components of a scientific investigation. Second, use the scientific method in solving problem. And third, integrate scientific method in resolving common issues in the community. Now, are you ready? Let's get started! I will give you a clue of what would be our lesson for today. Let's play a game. Direction. Tell what the picture depicts. You must also arrange the jumbled letters to form the correct word. Picture number 1. What is the answer? The answer is observation. Observation is the action or process of observing something or someone carefully in order to gain information. And now let's move on to picture number 2. What is your answer? The answer is question. Question is a sentence, phrase, or word that asks for information or is used to test someone's knowledge. And now let's move on to our last picture. Picture number 3. And what is the answer? Well, the answer is very good. Experiment. Experiment is a scientific procedure undertaken to make discovery, test a hypothesis, or demonstrate a known fact. What do you think is our lesson for today? Brilliant! We will discuss about scientific investigation. Are you excited? Before we will go deeper, prepare yourselves for some activities. Activity 1. Directions. Read carefully. You will be given 5 minutes to discuss the story in Activity 1 entitled Anthony's Curiosity. Miss Gatdula was invited by a friend to visit her in Baguio City. Before leaving her home in Manila, she instructed her helper to feed the fish in the aquarium during her absence. It was May. The summer heat was almost unbearable. The helper was worried about the fish entrusted to her. One very warm afternoon, she got a tray of ice cubes and put them all into the aquarium. In just a short while, all the fish in the aquarium died. Anthony, a nephew of Miss Gatdula, learned about the tragic incident. But he did not reprimand the helper right away. He wanted to be sure of the cause of death of the fish. Here is what he did. He bought 6 fish of the same kind as those that had died. He kept them in the aquarium for 2 days. He got 2 large wide-mouthed glass jars of the same size. He labeled jar number 1 and the other jar number 2. He put the same amount of water in the jars and 3 fishes in each jar, together with some aquarium, plants, and pebbles. When the fishes have stayed in the jar for 2 days, he put ice cubes in jar number 1. He observed that the fish in jar number 1 died, and those in jar number 2 did not. So time starts now. And now let's move on to activity number 2. Direction. Answer the guide questions for 10 minutes and write it in a short coupon band. So these are the guide questions. Number 1. Who are the main characters in the story? Number 2. What is the conflict occurred in the story? Number 3. What did Anthony suspect that might have caused the tragic incident? And number 4, what did Anthony do in order to prove his suspicion? And number 5, what did Anthony find out? Is his suspicion correct, and why? Time starts now. Time left, 7 minutes. Time left, 5 minutes. Time left, 2 minutes. And now you only have 30 seconds to finish answering the guide questions. And now, time is up. Let's answer. Question number 1. Who are the main characters in the story? The answer is Anthony and the helper. Number 2. What is the conflict occurred in the story? The answer is the fish died in the aquarium. Number 3. What did Anthony suspect that might have caused this tragic incident? The answer is Anthony suspected that ice cubes was the cause of the tragic incident. Number 4. What did Anthony do in order to prove his suspicion? The answer is Anthony conducted an experiment which compares two jars with and without ice cubes. Number 5. What did Anthony find out? Is his suspicion correct, and why? The answer is yes. Based on his experiment, fishes with ice cubes in jar 1 died, and fishes in jar 2 without ice cubes survived. Congratulations! You are now familiar with the scientific method. I can really tell that you possess the characteristics of a scientist. Look closer and listen attentively. These are the steps in scientific method. And our first step is make an observation. It consists of receiving knowledge of the outside world through our senses or recording information using scientific tools and instruments. There are tons of everyday activities that would make cool science experiments using scientific method. A student noticed that the ice melted fast in water. Second step is come up with a question. The student's observations should lead to some sort of questions. Does ice melt faster in different liquids? Curiosity on what happens to the ice in liquids is a simple science experiment perfect for using the scientific method. Our third step is develop hypothesis or prediction. You have made your observations and you have your questions. Now, you need to make a prediction about what you think will happen next. A hypothesis is not simply a guess. A hypothesis is an educated guess or tentative answer to a problem. The student thinks that ice will melt faster in juice than it will in water. Maybe he just wants to get a drink of juice out of it. And now let's talk about variables. Identifying and controlling variables involve the process of deciding which variables or factors will influence the outcome of an experiment, situation, or event, and deliberately control all recognized variables in a systematic manner. Variables in an experiment may be independent or dependent. And now let's move on to independent variables and dependent variables. Independent variables, the variable that is being manipulated or controlled. For example, the size of pieces of ice. While dependent variables, it changes because of the test. It is the effect that arises from independent variable. For example, the time it takes the ice to melt. Our fourth step is conduct an experiment or test hypothesis. We made a prediction that ice will melt faster in juice than in water. And now we must test our hypothesis. We set up an experiment with a glass of juice, a glass of water, and an ice cube for each. For the best experiments, only one thing should change. Here, we are changing the type of liquid we use but keeping the ice cube, the temperature, and measurements of the liquid the same. If too many factors change at once, you cannot accurately state what the results are. The liquids should be roughly the same temperature, as close as possible, and measured to the same amount, so we left them out to come to room temperature. This could also be tested right out of the fridge. Set up a stopwatch or set a time limit to observe the changes. The fifth step is record and analyze report. Make sure to record what is happening as well as the results. Note changes at specific time intervals or after one set time interval. When each ice cube is completely melted, add drawings if you wish at the end results. Was your prediction accurate? If it is not accurate, state the reason or reasons. And our last step is draw conclusions. This is the opportunity to talk about hypothesis, your experiment, your results, and your conclusion, which is the final answer to your problem or experiment. Let us try to apply what you have learned. In a one whole sheet of paper, use scientific method to assess the condition of Anthony based on the given scenario. You are given 10 minutes to finish the activity. Are you ready to show off your skills? Let's see. It was rainy day. John celebrated his 25th birthday at a private restaurant last week. All of his relatives and friends were there. Everybody greeted him with hugs and kisses. Since that they knew each other, they removed their face masks and enjoyed the night singing in karaoke. After a week, John got sick. He has fever and experienced difficulty of breathing. He is wondering if he infected by COVID-19. Help John to figure out his disease. These are the guide questions. Number 1, what is the problem? Number 2, give observations stated in the scenario about John's condition. Number 3, what are the possible questions that will lead to a hypothesis or prediction? Number 4, what actions should be taken to confirm his condition? Number 5, if he has COVID-19, how to minimize the spread of the virus? And number 6, what are the things that we should consider to prevent COVID-19? Your time starts now. Time left, 7 minutes. Time left, 5 minutes. Time left, 2 minutes. And now you only have 30 seconds to finish the activity. Okay, time is up. This is the possible answer in question number 1. What is the problem? John wants to know if he has COVID-19. Number 2, give observations in the scenario about John's condition. John experienced fever and difficulty of breathing a week after his birthday. Number 3, what are the possible questions that will lead to hypothesis or prediction? Is he just experiencing simple flu? Why does he experience difficulty in breathing? Number 4, what actions should be taken to confirm his condition? John should go to a hospital and undergo checkup. If the doctor conducts a laboratory or swab test, he will wait for the result of his diagnosis. Number 5, if he has COVID-19, how to minimize the spread of the virus? John must stay in the isolation facility. He must also identify his visitors during his birthday for the contact tracing. Number 6, what are the things that we should consider to prevent COVID-19? Preventive measures include physical or social distancing, ventilation of indoor spaces, covering coughs and sneezes, and hand washing. The use of face masks and face shields is also recommended in public settings to minimize the risk of transmissions. You really deserve a clap for your active participation. Sustain your energy for our evaluation later. Let us have first a quick summary of our lesson today. Scientific method is a process that involves observation, data gathering, experimentation, and analysis. This method is composed of 6 steps. By making a detailed observation of the world around you through your senses, you can be able to formulate a question. This step will lead you to an educated guess called hypothesis, where you can have tentative answer to your question. In order for you to prove your educated guess, you need to test the hypothesis by designing and conducting an experiment. In the experiment, you need to identify the variables present, and these are the dependent and independent variables. The data from the experiment will be collected to analyze the result. The summarized results from the experiment will determine whether the hypothesis is accepted or rejected, and that is where you draw a conclusion. Now, let's see if you really understand the topic. Please prepare your pen and a sheet of paper for evaluation. What are you waiting for? Let's start! Directions. Choose the letter of the correct answer. Write your answer in a 1/2 crosswise sheet of paper. You are given 30 seconds to answer each item. Question number 1. What is the process of obtaining information using your senses? A. Inquiry. B. Conclusion. C. Observation. Or letter D. Scientific method. Your time starts now. What is your answer? The correct answer is letter C. Observation. Question number 3. What do you call an idea or explanation that you test through study and experimentation? Letter A. Question. Letter B. Hypothesis. Letter C. Conclusion. Or letter D. Observation. Your time starts now. And the correct answer is letter B. Hypothesis. And to our last item, item number 4. In which step of scientific method do we want to use graphs? A. Analyze data. B. Asking questions. C. Make hypothesis. Or letter D. Communicate results. Your time starts now. And what is your answer? The correct answer is letter A. Analyze data. Did you get it right? Well done! Congratulations, everyone! I am proud of your progress today. I hope you had a great time and enjoyed learning about scientific investigation. Nothing is impossible if you are determined and motivated. Oops! Don't forget your assignment! Make your own study using scientific method through drawings. Draw it in a short coupon band. Pass it to your subject teacher during the retrieval of your modules and answer sheets. Here's the rubrics. Criteria: content, 15 points. Color harmony, 10 points. Cleanliness, 5 points, with a total points of 30. See you soon for more fun and cool learnings. I am Sir Je, your teacher for today. Keep safe and thank you for watching.